Welcome to our second tutorial about automation. Let's pick up from where we left off in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson, we learned what automation means, how to read and write automation to audio tracks using the mixer interface, and what the various automation modes mean. You don't have to use a mixing console to create automation. You can also create automation by drawing it right in the project window. Creating automation this way can be more convenient when you need to fine-tune or if you want to make adjustments that apply, let's say, to the whole track without playing back the whole track. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to create custom automation in the project window. First, let's select the track we want to automate. Let's stick with bells up. And let me stretch it out a bit so I can see better. Now, click the Show Hide Automation button at the far left of the track. You may need to hover your mouse over the far left bottom area until you see the button appear, as this is only shown when you need it. And when you click on it, the first automation subtrack is revealed. That's what we created with the mixer in our previous lesson. Let's scroll to the right a bit. Here's the reduction in volume that we made with the mixer during that one phrase that was too hot. Let's zoom in to take a look at how the automation from our previous lesson appears here. It's represented on the automation track as a number of points on the ruler. Zoom to full. And let's take a look at the burbles automation we created. We'll expand the automation subtrack and zoom in again. Again, we've got a number of discrete points that we're able to manipulate, for example, using the object selection tool to drag them up and down, left and right. Let's zoom to the locators now. I use these zoom views frequently, zoom to full and zoom to locators. They're pretty convenient. We're able to have many automation subtracks per track, one for each parameter that you want to automate. Volume, pan, send level, and more. We can append other automation subtracks by clicking the plus sign in the left corner of the automation subtrack. It's also read-enabled. Click in this field for a pop-up list of parameters that we can automate. Input gain, a number of panning options, linked panner, standard panner, sends, and more. We can remove and mute parameters as well with these choices. If the parameter you want to automate doesn't appear in this list, just select More. The Add Parameter dialog box opens with additional possible selections for this track. Choose the one you want and click OK to get back to the automation subtrack. I'm going to cancel out of this dialog window. Okay, let's free up some monitor space for our work. I'm going to shift select the tracks that I'm not working with and use the vertical zoom preset, Zoom Tracks Minimal. That menu happens to fly out to the right of the screen, so it's outside of my recording space. So you'll just have to trust me that that's what I selected. Now let's stretch out the track that we're going to automate. Let's expand the automation tracks also. Now let's choose a parameter to automate, let's say panning. And now standard panner displays in the parameter display field so that I can easily tell at a glance what this automation subtrack is for and to distinguish it from any others that I'm going to create. Since I don't have any automation for this new parameter, I see a flat line right across the track. The C here in this field further confirms that the panning is set to center. Let's zoom in a little bit more, both horizontally and vertically. And let's activate write status. We use the object selection tool to move points both horizontally along the timeline or vertically to change the output volume. We're able to select more than one point at a time by selecting a point and then pressing down the Shift key on your keyboard to select additional points. We can move them simultaneously. We can also window select a group of points by left-clicking and dragging the cursor over the points. Then we can drag the entire automation curve up or down, left and right. We add points with the object selection tool as well. Just left-click on the automation line. Sometimes with the draw tool, you end up adding too many points at a time by accident, so using the object selection tool to add points is more convenient if you don't need to, for example, create a custom shape offered by the line tool. Let's just check those out: parabola, sine, triangle, and square. Deleting automation points is pretty easy. Just select a point or a group of points and press delete on your keyboard. You can also window select a group of points by left-clicking and drawing a rectangle over the points that you want to delete, and then press delete on the keyboard. This field here displays the current level of input gain. At the current cursor position, the volume is down by 3.61 decibels. And now at this point on the timeline, the volume is down by 7.64 decibels. At this point on the timeline, it's minus 9.75. And at this point on the timeline, it's minus 9.55. We see this value on the inspector panel as well. The inspector panel has a slider that we can move to adjust the levels. Drag it up to boost and down to lower. Notice that as I boost, the color indicator next to the track goes red, and as I lower, it went blue. This function works sort of like adjusting a fader in the mixer. As I drag the point up, there's a flyout that gives me a commentary. The pop-up shows my current cursor position in the primary time display, as well as the output level on the far right. We're getting close to 0 dB now. And now we're boosting the gain rather than reducing it. We can increase up to 6 decibels. If I drag the slider all the way to the left or the point all the way to the bottom, I've effectively muted my track. The output level will basically be 0 at this decibel level, minus 47.9. Let's bring it back up. Now let's select and delete all the automation points we created earlier. We use a window select and press delete. The level that we see here, minus 10.72, is the current mixer base volume level. If we Control-click in this field, we return the gain to 0. That's a command click on your Macintosh. Now let's adjust the position of the left and right locators for our listening and writing. We'll turn off snap, zoom to the locators, and now we're ready to create some automation using the Draw tool. Generally, when you're drawing custom automation, you're either doing it for fine-tuning at a detail level, or you're applying something to the whole song, let's say broad panning changes. Let's activate the Draw tool. It's blue when it's active, and my cursor changes to a pencil icon with a guideline that stretches up to the ruler. We use the Draw tool to add points on the line where we want to make changes. In principle, adding automation points works like this. Click anywhere on the automation track to add a point. Click and drag to add multiple points simultaneously. This is how you can create, for example, a fade ramp. Notice that you can draw even while you're not playing back. Let's undo. And let's zoom in a little bit more on our 3 automation points here. You can draw right over existing automation to replace it. The first and last points automatically connect to the automation that comes before and after. Let's select and delete this automation with a window select. Press delete on your keyboard. And zoom to the locators. Let's go to the left locator. Activate the Draw command. And start playback. We'll draw in our new volume adjustments during playback this time. And pressing the spacebar stops playback. Now that we're done this automation, let's right disable and lock the track. By the way, this button here mutes the automation in case you don't want to hear it. Now let's shrink the volume automation track and expand the panning subtrack. And let's zoom full. Let's stretch out the position of the locators. And now let's zoom to the locators. We can also add automation using the line tool or any of the shapes offered as the subtools here. With the tool selected, just left-click to place your first point in the automation subtrack, hold the mouse down, and release where you want the second point to be and the shape to end. You can still make adjustments using the Object Selection tool, dragging the points up and down, left and right, adding new points as required. Let's select this automation and delete it. And let's drag this point back down. We Control-click in this field to restore it to center. Okay, let's free up some screen space by hiding the inspector and the info line. Let's read and write enable the panning subtrack. Now let's take a look at some of the subtools here. We've got 4 to choose from: parabola, sine, triangle, and square. These will let you draw more consistent shapes and curves than you can do manually with the draw tool. The parabola and sine tools are good shapes for a fade. Stretch this out here, unlock the track, and click on the automation track to place our first point. Click again for the second point. Let's try the sine tool now. And let's activate the Object Selector tool to select and move all of these points. If you use the Control key while you're drawing, that's the Command key, you'll invert the curve. The triangle and the square are pretty good for creating a rhythm while you're panning. If you enable Snap Mode, it'll guide you where you can drop your automation points. Notice that I snap to the bar. The square shape is also good for creating panning automation, where you can rhythmically move your mix from one speaker to the other or easily adjust the balance between left and right. I've just zoomed in here tight so I can adjust my points individually now. After you've drawn automation directly into the project window's subtracks, you don't necessarily need to edit it here. You can also edit it in the mixer window while it's playing. Let's collapse the automation subtracks. Just hover your mouse over the left corner of the track, click the Show Hide Automation button, and zoom to locators. Actually, maybe let's zoom full. Now let's unlock my track and move this event to a new track. Now let's show the automation subtracks. Click the Show Hide button, there's the volume subtrack. Let's click the plus symbol to see the panning subtrack. Clicking the minus sign will hide the tracks. And let's expand again. And here are both of my automation subtracks. When I moved the event, the automation followed along with it. If you don't want your automation to follow your events, you can change this preference. Go to File or the Cubase menu option and scroll down to select Preferences. Scroll down to Preferences, go to the Editing branch, and there's an option here, Automation Follows Events. Uncheck this if you don't want your automation to follow the events as we saw just now. This is just the beginning of what automation can do for you. You can automate pan controls, effects, MIDI controls, VST instrument parameters, and more. This concludes our second lesson about automation. Don't forget to lock your automation when you're done and save your work.